Welcome to the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute's Inside the Leader Studio. I'm Veronica Duron, Secretary of the CHCI Alumni Association and a former Public Policy Fellow in 2008 and 2009. CHCI's Inside the Leader Studio brings together today's foremost Latino leaders to discuss issues of education, leadership, and the national imperative to educate Latinos. It also focuses on CHCI's efforts to develop the next generation of Latino leaders to ensure the future success of our great nation. Joining us today is Lupe de la Cruz, Senior Director of Government Affairs for Southwestern Region at PepsiCo, and CHCI 2012-2013 Graduate Health Fellow, Aurelia de la Rosa Aceves, whose fellowship is directly supported by the PepsiCo Foundation. So I want to start with you, Aurelia.
Okay.
How has the CHCI Fellowship impacted you since you've been in DC?
I think it's impacted me in a couple of ways, where I think first, it's given me an in-depth understanding of the policymaking process here in DC. I think sometimes when you come from other states or outside DC, it's very easy to romanticize the process and or get angry at the process. But when you're actually in it, I think it gives you this kind of insider's view of what it actually takes to move a policy through passing. And I would never have had that opportunity to experience that unless the CHCI brought me to DC for these past 6 months, which I've really valued and appreciated. And then on another level, I've never been in a room of only Latinos that are very driven and well-educated and just very passionate people. I've always been the one representative of the Latino community in any kind of school setting or club setting, anything. But here it's 22 fellows that are here to learn and to be leaders. So that's kind of exciting for me.
And now, Lupe, representing the PepsiCo and PepsiCo Foundation, why do you personally feel it's important to give to CHCI?
Well, PepsiCo has been giving to CHCI for nearly since its beginning, first with the internship program and most recent years in the fellowship program. Personally, being part of it is really important to me in that 20 years ago, I was an intern up on Capitol Hill and was at the table of then my predecessor at Pepsi and was his guest at the CHCI dinner. Fast forward through the years and we kept in touch. He later then recruited me to fill his spot when he was promoted to vice president. It's that networking, it's that opportunity, as Aurelia mentioned, to meet other Latinos in business, in corporate America, and in government who are trying to do things to improve the community and join that network and grow. PepsiCo supports that as part of our performance with purpose, that we contribute back to the communities where we work and serve.
And since you were once there as an intern, as a fellow, what do you see now in your role that CHCI is doing that's unique and their programming that's helping this new generation of Latino leaders? It
really is an incubator for leadership. I think that's the trademark of CHCI, is the bringing together from across the country young, motivated people who want to make a difference in their community, empowering them to go back into their communities, that it's not enough to stay here in Washington and amongst your cohorts and colleagues, but to go back into the community and share what you've gained here and contribute. We see now classmates throughout the years, the alumni who've gone on to run for office, who go on to corporate America, who go on in elected and serving political offices. That's the kind of legacy that CHCI is about.
And now from your perspective, Aurelia, why do you feel it's important for corporate sponsors such as PepsiCo to contribute to CHCI?
It's a wise investment just as a business with the shifting demographics of Latino community in the United States. With, I think it's like 25% of children under the age of 5 are Latino, and by 2060, 1 in 3 Americans will be Latino. I think it's just a wise investment to look at Latinos as their future employees and their future leaders of these corporations as well.
And Lupe, now that you represent a sponsor and you get to work with a fellow that you personally in your organization sponsors, has your experience changed, or what has your experience been like being able to work with a fellow and a graduate fellow?
I think it's a very rewarding experience both two ways. In that for PepsiCo, it's an opportunity to gain a relationship and insight into the policy discussions that are taking place on Capitol Hill and contribute to those discussions in a way and shape where we're moving our company. As we broaden our portfolio and brought in the food options that we're providing to our consumers, It's a chance for us to talk to policymakers and staff about those opportunities in nutrition and gain perspective on what they see as needed and how we can move ahead together.
And Lupe, with your experience, especially your personal experience on Capitol Hill, what do you see CHCI does that's different from other similar organizations?
I think that the support mechanisms that are in place and the Alumni Association and the history that CHCI has, putting that behind each of the fellows, the support network that gives them the opportunity to not only network with different leaders across corporate America, government, but also the opportunity to take that knowledge base, again, back to the community. I think that's really the strength of CHCI and where we see the legacy of where this is going in the next 30 years.
So as a former fellow myself, I know the importance of not only CHCI and its programming, but the sponsors that make it possible. So I want to thank both of you for being here today.
Of course. Thank you.